Hey, how's it going? My name's Nat. Let's see what's been making news. The huge cost of America's Super Bowl ads. What the middle of the earth really looks like. And what these puppies are competing for. But before we get started, why don't you hit that subscribe button? America's biggest sporting event, the Super Bowl, is nearly here, and it's bigger than ever. Companies are willing to pay up to $9 million for a 30-second ad spot. Whew. It's a record amount, but these aren't just any old ads. Leela explains.
It's a head-to-head competition for people's attention and money. And in the US, where 100 million people will be watching the Super Bowl on Monday, there's a lot at stake. I mean, look at these things. They look like movies, which is not surprising because they feature a lot of famous actors. These ads obviously cost a lot to make. And airtime during the Super Bowl costs a lot too. Try $9 million for 30 seconds. But there's a reason companies are spending big.
There are very few places where people are actually still paying attention to commercials. And this is a place where they are not only able to watch the ads, but they're actually excited to watch the ads.
Remember our road trip in '97?
The first Super Bowl was played in 1967. At the time, it cost $100,000 for a 60-second spot. But experts say this 1984 Apple ad is the one that kicked off the blockbuster Super Bowl ads we know today. They've grown in price and popularity ever since.
Shucks.
After an awesome opening weekend at the Winter Olympics, Aussies haven't really had a lot to cheer about. But that might change tomorrow. 2 Aussies have qualified in the men's snowboard half-pipe final. Our best hope for a medal is Scotty James, who finished second in the qualifiers and won bronze at the last Winter Games. The other is 16-year-old Valentino Giuselli, who qualified 5th. A whole heap of SpaceX satellites have fallen out of orbit. Oh, there we go. Don't worry though, they'll burn up before reaching Earth. 40 of the 49 internet service satellites launched last week have been destroyed, or are about to be, after they were hit by a solar storm. SpaceX still has close to 2,000 Starlink satellites orbiting Earth, more than 550 kilometers up. Have you ever wondered what's at the middle of the Earth? Well, now scientists are one step closer to figuring it out. Here's Kale with a science lesson.
The Earth is a lot like an onion. They both have layers.
The outside part we live on is the crust, and that's like the thin shell of a hard-boiled egg. Next comes the mantle, then the outer core, made up of liquid iron and nickel, and finally the inner core, a scorching 6,000 degrees, but here the iron and nickel are solid.
We've known this.
What?
That last part was just completely wrong.
Oh, well, do you want to get up and teach the class then, do you?
Yes, gladly.
Okay, sure.
Now,
Basically, scientists in China have found the guts of our planet is not a solid, but it's also not a liquid. It's somewhere in between, called a super ionic state. Some scientists reckon planets like Uranus or Neptune could be mostly made up of ice in this super ionic state. But to find it in the middle of Earth is something completely new. The core is as hot as the sun, so we can't really dig down there. Instead, scientists measure the rumbles of earthquakes and see how their seismic waves change as they pass through the middle.
while it's a big discovery, there's still lots of mysteries about the middle of the Earth left to uncover.
So what you're saying is I should probably throw this tape out.
Yeah, probably.
Now, we heard earlier about the Super Bowl, but what about the Puppy Bowl? Yes, it's a thing. Let's check it out.
We have a record year this year. 103 puppies participating. That is the most amount ever.
Welcome to the 2022 Puppy Bowl, now in its 18th year. The game where puppies play American football for our entertainment. Or at least try to. They are puppies, and naturally, the rules are a bit different. This year's competing teams, rough and tough, are in it for the big bucks. And by big bucks, I mean a chance at being adopted. While the glitz and glamour of high-octane, high-performance dogs is what draws most people to the game, the main purpose of the Puppy Bowl is to raise awareness about animal adoption. 103 pups from 51 shelters all over the US, all looking for a good home. Oh, and their 15 minutes of fame. So true. Well, that's all we've got time for today. In the meantime, don't forget, you can always hit subscribe. We'll be back again tomorrow. Bye.